video is going to focus on the Toulmin model, which is how we craft subarguments within our body paragraph. Before we begin this video, I just wanted to include some reminders about looking at the big picture of an essay, because we've kind of covered a lot so far. So when we think about an essay as a whole, okay, writing this big old piece of writing, we start with that introductory paragraph, which has our hook, transition, and ends with our thesis statement, which is going to state the main idea of the whole essay. Remember our formula: topic, purpose, and support. Then we move into body paragraphs, which my previous video went over the parts of a body paragraph. The number of body paragraphs in an essay is set by you, the author, based on what you need to prove in the essay. So body paragraphs all follow the same format. It starts with a topic sentence, which states the main idea of the paragraph as it relates to the support section of your thesis statement. This should state the major argument to prove your thesis. The topic sentence is then followed by our subarguments, which are detailed arguments that prove our topic sentence. In this class, to help you structure these subarguments, especially when we go through our research paper, we're going to use the Toulmin model. And in this model, we make a claim, we support it with grounds, and then we have our warrant where we're explaining our information. Finally, we end our paragraph with a concluding sentence, which wraps up the main idea of this paragraph and transitions to the next. Then when we're wrapping up our essay, we move into the concluding paragraph, which is a separate paragraph or section where you're bringing the essay to a close and leaving the reader with a lasting thought. So this is kind of the big picture of what we're looking at. But we're going to dive into just a small portion of this. The previous video went through all of the sections of a paragraph, but now we're going to dive into just this small part of how do we craft the middle section of those body paragraphs. So this is where we go into the Toulmin model. Keep in mind the job of the Toulmin model is to structure your subarguments. So each part has a specific job. In the claim, you're stating the main argument of this subargument, this smaller argument you're making. What are you trying to prove or say? And that should be written in your own words. Then you're going to support this with your grounds, your research, your example, your evidence, whatever you have that's going to prove that claim true. Why should we believe you? What support do you have for it? Then you move into the warrant. What does this example mean? Especially when we're using research, we want to make sure that we're explaining that research. Think about reading a whole book and then you just pull a sentence out of that book as your grounds. You're really taking that out of context. So it's important to have the warrant where you're explaining that research. How does that support your topic sentence and your thesis statement? In the next few slides, I'm going to show you how the Toulmin model and this style of organization can be applied to different formats of writing. Please be sure to kind of pause on each slide and read through so you have a clear understanding of this concept. So in the first one, this is an example of using the Toulmin model in our paragraph structure with an argumentative research paper. You can see how I provided the thesis statement, so you could see the main idea of the whole paper. And then I also gave you the topic sentence so you can see how it relates to the thesis. And then you have your sub-arguments to see how those sub-arguments support and prove our topic sentence true. The next example goes through a professional writing example, and you can see how this format could be used in that kind of setting. This is an example of a disciplinary warning for an employee. And then the final example is a professional writing experience, and it shows you how this format, again, can be used in a lot of different styles of writing. So this provides you with the formula to make writing easier. It also allows you to break down paragraphs to be more organized and make writing these body paragraphs and multiple body paragraphs not seem so overwhelming. It's a plug-in formula to kind of help you through writing these bigger writing pieces.